So I started life as a creative. I'm over 50 now, so I've been around quite a long time. The first sort of 15 years of my life, I worked as a creative. Both me and my wife used to joke early on in our career that we couldn't believe that we got paid so much money to push around pieces of paper. I don't have any answers, but this is a collection of thoughts of things that we've seen more recently. And obviously, with a view to, I'm coming really from a creative and marketing perspective, not so much from the technology perspective. And thinking about this, I was thinking about, well, it's probably the 3 C's. So you've got change, complexity, and capability. If you think about marketing and advertising, that's been around for sort of, 60, 80 years. We had a really good process for that. We had 6 obvious sort of channels: TV, radio, press, outdoor. Everything was going along swimmingly until the internet came along, and then suddenly everything started to change pretty swiftly. Potentially, agencies needed to go to keep up up to speed with what the clients required. This is what you're starting to see now, where businesses are so well informed by data that quite often they are almost ahead of a lot of the agencies that are trying to provide them with the ideas. And then beyond that is guiding transformations. Now, the thing is that once you start to look at the data, and you'll see as I go through some of the slides, the data can inform the business in a completely different way. And I think that there could come a stage where if agencies get very good at analytics, they could actually start to show businesses where potential new business models exist. So this is not just about promoting brands, this is about changing businesses. In 2005 and 2008, we had a report which was around e-commerce, where we tried to look at, we sort of identified 4 different types of businesses. You were either an e-commerce business, so you were selling stuff online. You were a service business, you were a publisher. I can't remember what the 4th one was. But basically what's happened is that all businesses have started to collapse because they're doing all of it, but collapse those 4 types of businesses into one. So all businesses are very similar. You're either selling stuff online, you're publishing stuff online because you're going to start to create content if you're not already, and you'll start to push that out. So you need publishing skills. This e-commerce, web, mobile, business intelligence stuff, that's the stuff that sits on the client side. Traditionally, all of the other stuff sat on the agency side, and I think what you're going to start to see is a blend of the two. And actually, if you look at the big data processing element at the bottom, only the traditional direct marketing agencies or the data agencies, they were the only people that were really any good at that. Most of the above-the-line agencies were just very good at media buying. But paid is the advertising stuff that you would normally do. You pay for your advertising. The owned is all of your own internal, your websites, your blogs, all of that sort of stuff. Any material that you've got that you can use to push out and get your customers to utilize, that's your owned media. And then the earned media is all of the stuff that comes through social, word of mouth, that sort of stuff. It just gives you an idea that you can start to analyze data in different ways, not just from an audience perspective. We've done some work looking at attribution of social media, which is obviously very difficult to measure. But what we try to do is to figure out where it assists conversions. So if we can understand where social media assists conversions, then because you're not actually going to be able to say, well, that person that said this on Twitter is equal to X. What we tried to understand was, as a collection, if we could work out what the value was, that would be incredibly useful. So I can't remember exactly, but I think we found out that any social media activity, so whether it was Facebook, whether it was Twitter, whatever it was, converted to about a value of about 2 pence, where your customers are touching either your products or your company. This is from a piece that Land Rover pushed out, which just showed the different sort of data sources that companies and agencies will start to come across. So you've got consumer insights, cultural insights, future insights, product purchase, usage, owner. So you can see this is just going to get bigger and bigger. So this one specifically was when we asked them what was more important. Was it more important to be 100% accurate or 80% accurate? And obviously, no surprise, most people came back and said that in terms of real-time insight, so that's real-time analysis of data, they were quite happy with 80% accuracy. if you think about measurement, we need to think about, the fact that metrics are now going to start to be more fluid. A lot of the measurement stuff that we get will probably be incomplete, but not necessarily inaccurate. There is the 90-10 rule, which is, you spend 10% of your budget on the technology and 90% on your brain power. And I think that's a really important point, because the technology will not answer these questions for you. And a lot of the web analysts that I talk to internally constantly moan that all they get to do once they get into that position is run reports. All of the senior marketers above them are just saying, run me a report on this, run me a report on that. They're not actually analysing any of the data. And this was also from McKinsey, that basically said that there'll be a shortage of analytical skills. So you start to think, well, where are we going to get these people from? So maybe we just need marketers that are more analytical. If marketers could understand the important points of analytics, and I don't mean to the nth degree, but we've done a lot of work recently with trying to identify how businesses should structure themselves. And a lot of that has been to take somebody who's responsible for the analytics and put them almost as a hub and spoke model. So you put them in the centre. People that have obviously worked in digital for a while have quite a broad expertise, but you can drill down and have a specific expertise. And I think what we probably will start to see is marketers that are more, the creative marketers that we're talking about today will be more commercial, more analytical and entrepreneurial. The entrepreneurial part of it is being able to spot potential business opportunities. And you can only do that if you're commercially adept and analytical, obviously. So the three things really are change, understand what's changing and how that data can add value to your business. The complexity, don't measure everything, but know what you should measure. And obviously you should always align your campaign KPIs or marketing KPIs to the business KPIs. Where is that resource coming from? You're just not going to be able to hire enough people. And even if those people are out there, what will happen is that the salaries are just going to go through the roof. So just try and find a way to get around that. I am a bit of a social media whore, so if you look up Peter J. Abraham on any of the networks, you'll see most of my stuff and posts included too. So